Good evening, Lizzie boys, and welcome back to my channel. Today, Laguna's prototype has finally been fully revealed. So this is the blue version of Laguna that was apparently shown to a test audience of children, and the kids didn't like her. So that's why we got pink Laguna. So this prototype is basically from what we know, this prototype of Laguna is most likely the reason that Laguna isn't blue anymore. So, yeah, I just thought it'd be interesting to talk about this because I've started to see the Laguna should have been blue and not pink and G3 crowd start to rear their heads again due to this prototype being revealed. So real quick, this prototype was posted by the Thedollyolds on Instagram, and I believe that's their username on Twitter as well. I'm actually not sure. But, so yeah, I just have to give credit where it's due. So, with all of that said, let's take a look at some G3 prototypes once again. This is just an interesting topic to me. So just as a reminder, this is the first image of G3 prototypes we've ever seen. The only one of Laguna we'd seen prior to today was this blurry headshot right here. So there's been a lot of G3 prototypes, and honestly, we don't know which ones were made first, which ones were made, like, later on. I'm assuming these ones were most likely the most recent ones just because of how similar Cleo's face is to the final product. Claudine looks very similar to the final product as well. The only ones that seem to have gone through major changes are Laguna, Frankie, and kind of Draculaura because her whole head shape ended up changing. This Deuce, I'm not even going to talk about him, but that basically looks just like the regular G3 Deuce. He just got a different head shape. I really don't care about G3 Deuce, I'm sorry. But anyway, we now have this full look at Laguna. Her full body has finally been revealed. And right off the bat, I have to say I prefer the pink version. So, I don't want to say this doll is bad. Just because it's a prototype, it's not like it matters what our opinions of this prototype are, considering it was scrapped anyway. But I'm just not the biggest fan of it. Like, it's fine. But you can really see just how many things carried over to Laguna's final design. Like, when you look at both side by side, they both had the fanny pack, albeit with a different, like, mold, like, sculpt to it, but they both had the piranha teeth. The fins seem to have stayed the same as well. The bodies look the same. The only thing that seems to have changed body-wise is, well, the color of Laguna's skin, as well as giving her transparent legs, I mean. Well, I guess it's kind of foggy, so it's a bit more translucent than transparent. I don't know. But the hands were another change. So here you can actually see that Laguna did originally have webbed fingers, which, yeah, that's something that I wish that her doll had gotten to keep. It's a little disappointing that the G3 released doll, I'm just going to stick to calling them prototype and production. So the production doll did not get the webbed fingers, which is definitely unfortunate. But to me, it's just interesting how similar their head sculpts are. The ears almost look identical. They both have the same, like, hair clips almost. Laguna only has one on each side, but she has two here. It seems like the rows were separated at one point to give her 4 clips total. They do have the same hair tie, though, like the same hair tie in their hair. It's also just interesting that they have the exact same hair colors with the purple on the right side, on the left side. Why do I mix up my left and right? That's embarrassing. But they both have the purple on the left side and the blue on the right side. I don't know, it's just kind of interesting to see what changed and what stayed the same between these two. I will admit some aspects of the prototype's outfit are better, whereas some are worse. Like, I'm not a big fan of those shoes. I think it's just the fact that they're red. And I am talking about the prototype's shoes. The prototype's red shoes don't work, but the thing is that the sculpt totally does. If it had just been a different color that actually goes with the doll's color scheme, it would have been fine, you know? I actually don't like the production doll's final shoes. She can't stand in them. I've never been able to balance Laguna when she's wearing those shoes, so I had to give her a doll stand. So, yeah, I just don't really like those shoes. They're not the vibe, you know? They're not the vibe. As for the outfit, though, the pockets are very confusing on the prototype doll. Like, just looking at the pockets sticking out underneath her shorts, for a while that confused me. I was like, why does she have these little thin strips of, like, fishnet around her legs, and then there's just her skin there? And then I realized, oh, that's not her skin. Those are pockets sticking out of her shorts. It just looked so weird and so, like, early 2010s. Did you guys ever wear shorts like that? Like, you would wear denim shorts and you'd have the pockets sticking out, and, like, that was the thing that, like, every girl was wearing in, like, 2013, 2014. That's what I was wearing during that time. I loved it. I was like, oh yeah, this is the vibe. This is how I should be dressing. So that just seems like a strange little detail to include. The green starfish earrings are kind of ugly, and I am going to address the elephant in the room. The doll's face. I don't like it. Yeah. Honestly, if Laguna had ended up looking like this, I don't know if I would have liked her as much as I do now. I just really feel like G3 Lagoona turned out adorable in production. Like, I love the brown eyes, I like the blue eyebrows, the scales on her forehead, and the freckles, which ironically were things that I didn't like before. They've grown on me over the year that I've been able to collect Laguna's dolls, basically, because G3 started being found in sort of the middle of September to, like, early October. So, you know, I've had Laguna for almost a year now. I bought her early, I remember. So, I'm just more used to the production doll. And honestly, I can't see myself being as attached to this prototype as I was when I got to see Pink Laguna for the first time, if that makes sense. Like, I totally get that people have their own opinions, everybody feels a certain way about certain things, but I don't know. I really don't think this version of Laguna would have been, like, as memorable as the pink one is. I just think Pink Laguna is so much fun, and this one just... she's not bad, but I really don't like her face. Something looks wrong with her. So, these prototypes overall are just pretty interesting to me, because these are the ones that were used to influence the movies' fashion. So, the live-action Monster High movies. That's what these were made. Well, they weren't made for the movie, but they were being worked on while the movie was in production. So, yeah, I just think that's kind of interesting. Honestly, I don't really... The only ones here that we haven't seen in full are, well, this version of Draculaura, because we've seen this one, but we haven't seen the version in this photo in full. We also haven't seen this version of Claudine, and we have not seen Deuce. Though, there are two other prototypes we haven't seen in full, which are this version of Claudine and this version of Frankie. This version of Frankie is so utterly bizarre. I want to see them so badly. I want to see what was going on here, because this doll just looks weird. I think I've talked about it before. Frankie just looks like their, like, hair clip is, like, photoshopped on. The jacket they're wearing is cute, and I like the shirt. But, yeah, this one just looks bizarre. As for Claudine, the weird thing about her is that she looks very, very similar to what her final doll ended up looking like. Just the head sculpt is completely different. The smile's not as big. The nose isn't as, like, it looks like they painted more of it than they did in the final doll. It looks a lot more dog-like, if that makes sense. So the nose wasn't, like, as, like, dog-like as it is here. It is still painted in. You can see that they painted it in here as well. But I don't know. I just feel like her nose looks really different here, and I can't really describe how. She did also lose the jacket as well. Interestingly enough, her prototype looks like it was rooted with poly. Like, the hair just kind of looks like shit, you know? This video is supposed to be about Laguna, but I'm kind of just turning it into a general discussion of G3 prototypes, because again, it's an interesting subject to me. This is, like, the first time that at the beginning of a generation of Monster High, we've been able to see so many of these prototypes. Like, it took years for us to see, like, the original prototypes for G1, like those humanoid dolls, and then those ones that didn't really look like monsters at all, that Lily Martinez, I believe her name is, posted to TikTok. Like, I don't know, it's just nice to be able to see this and see, like, what changes were made, what things were kept. Like, Cleo's prototype has the exact same face as her production doll, which, again, that's, like, crazy to me that they basically kept the same face for her. But, like, everything else changed. The outfit changed entirely. Her hair colors did stay the same, though, but she did lose the bangs. And then the Claudine here, even though we can't see all of her, that's the same hairstyle that her production doll had. And, like, Even here, Draculaura has the same earrings as her production doll, which interestingly enough, this prototype is also wearing those earrings. So it seems like the earrings were the one thing about Draculaura, other than her side glands, that were finalized from the beginning. Again, I just think it's interesting to look at this stuff. It's just a topic that personally intrigues me. I like it. So, yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to say. I'm really hoping that if any of these prototypes were to leak next, it would be like Draculaura or Claudine, just because we haven't seen a single one of Claudine's prototypes in full. Like, we've got 2 different ones here, and we've only gotten headshots of each one. I really want to see the rest. Additionally, I think it's interesting how much of Laguna's prototype outfit actually stuck with her into the production of the animated series. Like, the sweater she's wearing here is basically the exact same one that she wears in the show. She even has the fishnets in the show. So it's just interesting that that part of her outfit stuck when it came to the animated series, but not for her G3, like, basic doll, her core doll. So, just wanted to comment on that, but we're done now. I don't have anything else to say. So, with that said, I'm gonna call it here. Feel free to comment your own thoughts on Laguna. I'm interested in seeing what the consensus is, because so far, again, as I mentioned, I've been seeing a lot of people, as I called it, Laguna should have been blue crowd kind of coming back. So if any of you guys are a part of that, you guys are free to share your opinion. I don't agree with it. I much prefer pink Laguna when it comes to G3, just because I feel like it helps to differentiate her even more. Not to mention it's just cute as fuck. Like, she just looks good in pink. But yeah, that's just my opinion. So yeah, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. I'm interested in hearing what you guys have to say, and thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and as always, I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!